What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we will be talking about Showdown 44 in what was one of the best showdowns ever in the 44 game history between the two clubs. And I tell you what, it couldn't have ended any better. What an absolute beauty of a game. Let's have a look and see exactly what happened and go through some key points and talk about this great showdown victory by the Port Adelaide.
Got the outnumber. They all crash down. Flashpoint. Stevie Modler. What a time! Oh! He is floating on air now.
Well, Port Adelaide fans, what a fantastic victory by our club and the players on the weekend. A sensational game of footy at Adelaide Oval in front of 50,967 screaming fans who were on the edge of their seats, and especially in the second half. That first half was a bit sluggish and a bit awkward, to say the least. Didn't really fit into the whole game in the end, but it was a scrap nonetheless. And at the end of the day, Port Adelaide came out on top, 5-point winners ahead of the hapless Crows, in what, as I keep saying, was an absolute beauty of a game. There's nothing really you can say that describes how much of a game of footy, how much of a good game of footy this was. This had so much emotion. It was such a roller coaster, especially in the second half. Didn't know what to do. At the end of the game, I was mentally fatigued, because I went through about 50,000 different emotions at once. One stage we were losing, one stage we were winning, one stage we were coming back, one stage, there was 4 seconds left. The people I was sitting next to said to me when McGovern kicked that goal, there's only 4 seconds left. I was like, well, that's it, no more for me. We've lost another showdown after being up by 3 goals, which in itself is a bit of concern for them to come back after, in 3 minutes, 3 goals. But that's just what pressure does to you. And then in the end, the game kept going and Motlop kicked an absolute beauty. All I can say is that was Port Adelaide football. The club, the fans, the players there, the emotion and the love that came out of those players, and Ken Hinkley as well, shows how much passion us as a Port Adelaide community has. That was a game that defines Port Adelaide. Never give up, no matter how much is against you. We took it to the Crows under the circumstances of a crap week last week against the Eagles to come out and prove that we are capable of playing 4 quarters of football. Without a doubt, we played 4 quarters of footy on the weekend. Sure, we were down most of the game, but what I'll say is we dominated the Crows. Up 20 in contested possessions. We hunted the ball. Our midfield was sensational on the weekend. We dominated throughout the day. Our execution was poor in the first half. We went more direct in the second half. We were winning clearances, scoring from stoppages, and tackling was immense. 81 to 56 tackles, and we had more of the footy. We had about 70 more possessions than the Crows, and yet we still win the tackles 81 to 56. That's how much we wanted the footy. How much we hunted. We proved that is Port Adelaide football right there. Not only do you get the football and execute well, you then also hunt the ball carrier and, get the ball back to keep that pressure on. Our forward pressure was fantastic. Tackles from Jakey Need. Put your hand up, son. Last week was a horrible week. Not even getting a kick in a game of footy. To come out this week and just tackle, put his pressure on. He maybe didn't hit the scoreboard, but 11 possessions, not the best again by a forward. But the main thing is his tackling was awesome. He put the pressure on the ball carrier in the front half. He was just in there throwing himself. And that effort on the wing, where he took on 3 Crows players and somehow got the ball over the line to create a stoppage, awesome. Absolutely brilliant by Jakey Need. And he proved that that's how you play football against a quality opposition. You just keep hunting the football. No matter what your physique is, you go after it and you play tough footy, no matter how good you are. And that was sensational, Jakey Need. My number 1 point on my little notepad here says Robbie Gray is the GOAT. I've seen a few articles going around as of after the showdown saying that he's going to be, is already, or is going to be Port Adelaide's best of all time. Debatable. We will have opinions. But for now, he is the best modern era Port Adelaide player has had in the last 10 years. That bloke is just a freak when it comes to how good he is around the stoppages in the forward half. We've won, when Robbie Gray plays forward, I think it's like 20 games or something. We've won 13, lost 7, whereas he plays more midfield, we seem to lose a lot more. There's your point right there. And with Tom Rockcliffe coming in on the weekend and having 31 possessions himself, it allowed Robbie to go forward and have his brilliant 5-goal quarter. That's just the chemistry now that we seem to be developing, whereas Robbie can go in the midfield, get his 20, 30 possessions, then Rockcliffe can go into the midfield, get his 20 to 30 possessions. Robbie can hit the scoreboard. And we're able to be flexible in that situation. It proved a pivotal role in the game on the weekend. It was just absolutely sensational to see how good our team can be with that mix of players and how good the recruits are in our structure. They don't have to have a standout game. None of them did on the weekend, besides Tom Rockcliffe, maybe Stephen Motlop. Jack Watts played a pivotal role. Yeah, he may not get his goals and possessions, but he plays a pivotal role in being in that structure, and it worked perfectly on the weekend in the second half in particular. That's how we want to play footy. Robbie Gray forward, Rockcliffe in the middle, twist and turn, shake him up. As I said, our midfield was great. Ollie Wines, Travis Spoke, Robbie Gray in there on the odd occasion, Tom Rockcliffe brilliant around the ball. Brad Ebert, as always, getting the tackles up as well. They were just brilliant in the contested ball work and keeping, they were, like I said last week, two-way running, and they did it perfectly, and it was good, really, really good to see how much effort they put in on the weekend, and they backed up what they said during the week. And as Warren Treadray said in his article, he's had enough talk, it's all about action, and there was plenty of action on the weekend. So well done to the midfield, they were fantastic. I did say the first half was a bit ordinary. Our efficiency was quite poor going forward, and we just couldn't execute kicking just in the field of play. It was quite hard to watch, but it really cleaned up in the second half, and we were always in that game, no matter how much we were down. 27 points at one stage it was, but for us to come back after having such a confidence drop in this first half, because, the way we were playing was not obviously great football, but somehow we were still, just keeping the scoreboard ticking along, and the third quarter just explains itself, and we were able to hit the front, which was good to see. As I said, our pressure around the ball was awesome as well, especially in our forward half. Our defence was awesome on the weekend. I mean, yes, we may have allowed a few different players from the Crows to get their disposals up and be able to have an impact on the game. But Sam Powell-Pepper on Matt Crouch, Tom Jonas on Eddie Betts, and went on to Taylor Walker. Fantastic. Dougal Howard played his role as well on Tex when he went on to him. And then also Tom Cleary played a great role. Jack Humps was awesome as well. And players like DBJ, Riley Bonner and Houston. The whole defence just worked really well on the weekend. One last thing I'd like to touch on before I move on to the rest of the review is Ken Hinkley and his emotion at the end of the game. I thought that was absolutely brilliant and showed to a few people that do question his motives at the club to say that he doesn't belong or he's just there for the paycheck. Those types of people have been shut down now, because Kenny showed emotion, he showed passion at the end of the game, and for him to signify that we are back in this showdown and 1-0, well done, Kenny. Really proud, and really proud of the boys on the weekend. Let's just play this one more time before I mention our champion of the week.
Got the outnumber. They all crash down. Flashpoint. Stevie Motlop. What a time! Oh! He is floating on air now.
It just never gets old, that. It's just fantastic, and I think you know who's going to be this week's champion of the week. It's Stephen Motlop. He was awesome in kicking that final goal with 21 seconds remaining on the clock. How did we win that game? I'm not sure. It was just an amazing showdown, and for Stevie Motlop, the recruit who was meant to go to the Crows, ends up at Port Adelaide, just ruined all the Crows supporters' hearts, and it's just what we love about Stevie, is that he might not have the best tank in the business, but for him to kick that goal under extreme pressure showed how much quality and how much skill he has in his backpack. It is awesome, and well done, Stevie Motlop. That was a goal for the ages. Alright, time for the votes. The pair votes for the 2018 Pairlo or Pair Awards, whatever I'm going to call it. I don't know what I'll call it at the end of the year. But you know what? 5 votes for a win, 3 votes for a loss. And obviously, we won. So it's 5 votes for this week's game. And 1 vote goes to the man who's becoming the new Dustin Fletcher of the AFL. It's Justin Westhoff. 26 disposals, 6 marks and 6 tackles. His pressure around the ball, and especially when he was able to go into the middle as well, which was good to see. Around the wing, that's his perfect position now, on the wing. He's able to go forward if he needs to, able to go back in defence and help out the defenders. But Justin Westhoff on the wing is his perfect position for him to get 12 contested possessions as well, and 430 metres gained for a 200 centimetre wingman who's about 45 years old now. Bravo, Justin Westhoff. 2 votes goes to Paddy Ryder. 11 disposals, 39 hitouts, completely obliterated Jacobs. Was awesome. He also hit the scoreboard, kicking the first goal of the game and one in the last quarter, which was absolutely crucial, taking a Mark of the Year contender. Awesome by Paddy Ryder, and it's good to have him back from his injury as well. Well done to him. Tom Rockcliffe, 3 votes for you, son. 31 disposals, 9 tackles. That's what we like. That's the Tom Rockcliffe of old. That's the pig I'm talking about. 127 fantasy points, 12 contested possessions as well. Was really, really good around the ball and in the middle. So he was setting us up from the midfield. 4 votes goes to the man down back, the general down back, Tommy Jonas. 21 disposals, 10 marks. Kept Tex absolutely quiet in the second half. Same with Dougal Howard, did a phenomenal job on Tex, but Tex only did 6 disposals and 2 goals. So Tommy Jonas, take a bow, son, and also keeping Eddie Betts only the 3 goals, but he was very quiet in the first half. So well done to Tommy Jonas. He was sensational. And 5 votes goes to the GOAT, the Port Adelaide Football Club GOAT. Can't say it anymore. Robbie Gray, 6 goals, 20 disposals, 5 of those goals in the third quarter. If you haven't seen it, which I'm hoping you have, sit back and watch the third quarter. It is a thing of beauty. Something you'll never see from a player like Robbie Gray. Anyone like Robbie Gray. That quarter was absolutely brilliant to watch. He also had 5 marks and had a 344 metres gained as well. So, well done to Robbie Gray and all the players on the weekend. They were absolutely fantastic to watch. And we finally won a showdown, Port fans. It's been 3 long years, but we are finally victors. I'm done, Port fans. Thank you very much for tuning into this review for round 8. We move on to China next week, so it'll be another good game of footy against the Gold Coast Suns at Zhanglan Stadium in Shanghai. So we make history once again, Port fans. Thank you very much for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you are new for plenty more Port Adelaide content across the week and across the season and across the year. Tune in to Spreaker on Port Fan Radio, where I will be on the Porters podcast 8 PM every Wednesday night. We'll review every single game, especially the Showdown. And also, if you can't watch the reviews or previews, you can tune in on Spreaker as well to hear all my previews and reviews there too. So thank you very much for everyone listening on there as well. And that's it, Port fans. Another week done and dusted. Move on to round 9. I'll see you for the preview. Thank you very much for watching. And my name's Anthony, obviously. And also, can the pair? Woo!